As we talked about before, it's kind of like Aristotle tutored Alexander the Great. So we want Project Aristotle.
When I think of a domain expert, I think of someone who is really smart at math or really smart at physics and needs certain skills to help the child cultivate knowledge of that subject and can model a passion for learning about that subject.
I like the Aristotle approach. I mean, that's what we're trying to do with Global Classroom, is ask really difficult questions that adults are trying to answer and activate the youth voice and magnify it and amplify it as much as possible.
I think of Aristotle as a generalist and someone who was really asking questions and prompting self-directed learning through inquiry, a really, really skilled questioner and nurturer. One thing I would suggest is that even if you find an incredible generalist, you might want to consider getting someone just for math. For some reason, I find that the teachers who are good at math are really good at teaching math, and the teachers who are good at teaching everything are not necessarily great at teaching math. It's also the same with curriculum. It's interesting, I actually read a study, and maybe Naval will disagree with this, I'm not sure, but the two professions that are the most difficult to replace with artificial intelligence are, one, dental hygienists, and two, caregivers. The Japanese have actually tried to build AI for caregivers, and it has not worked. It has not been a success.
I would disagree with this because I think it's too narrow, and I think AI is overhyped at the moment. AI is not going to replace any creative task, full stop. So the more originality and creativity there is required, the less AI is going to replace it. AI is, it's like the calculator for language. It is an amazing tool. It can even find hidden connections in the semantic grammar of human language that we may have missed, but it's not fundamentally creating brilliant new things. And literally every profession has some room for creativity. And so if you're focused on that creativity domain, you're not going to be replaced by AI. On the other hand, if you're just doing the same thing over and over, whether it's a physical or a cognitive task, you will be replaced by AI. So in that sense, I think actually dental hygienist can either get replaced by AI or can get commoditized so much that it doesn't pay anything. So I don't think that is a secure profession if you're looking to hide from AI.
So Naval, clearly you think that platforms like Wyzant or Tutor.com aren't offering what you feel like parents need in terms of finding high quality tutors. In your opinion, what do you feel is missing from these platforms? I mean, they have reviews, they have everything else. You actually designed a job platform, so maybe you have a vision of what an ideal tutoring platform might look like.
I hate to say it, but I think it is like dating and job platforms. The absolute best candidates are not on these platforms. Plus, you absolutely need the personal touch because it's just too custom and it's a one-off high-value transaction, and online platforms tend to be terrible for those.
I do agree with you that it is a lot like dating. In most cases, I've been able to find tutors for parents that they absolutely loved. But in two cases, including what you're familiar with, I was not able to find someone. I mean, I went through hundreds of teachers, interviews, videos, and we came close a couple times. But then when we almost found the person, they dropped out at the last minute or wanted more money. But I still am curious to know how you would go about finding the best teacher ever in the entire world if you had all the time to do so. I mean, you started an amazing job site, but what would you do? What would your approach be for finding your Aristotle? I'm so curious, Naval.
I'd probably go on YouTube and TikTok and try to find people there who are very good at explaining things and see if they're available. That's the ultimate audition. Obviously, that's quite the hunting job.
And you know what? I actually think that there might be some ways with AI and machine learning that we could sift through some of those teacher videos. Another really cool thing about this idea, Naval, is that if people are very good at YouTube, they're often very good at teaching online because they understand how to use an online medium to teach kids. And that's a really important thing that we have to vet for.
The harder problem is not even just finding them, but how do you convince the parents you're finding them? And so there, I would have them audition. For example, if somebody had a good AirChat channel where they're constantly explaining to young kids how to do things and explaining things in a very simple way, like an Eli 5 channel, I'd hire that person. The AirChat is the audition. Just like Twitter is a good audition for writers and for community marketers, the same way AirChat can be a good audition for teachers.
I love that. We need to start an air chat teacher room. Maybe people could give mini lessons in it. I actually do that in all my teacher interviews. I have the teacher give me a mini lesson, and it's a really wonderful way to get to know them as a teacher.